Hello there, how are you doing, Dr. Fadi?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, fine. Thank you so much.
Thank you for taking the time to be here. It's a great honor. All right. So I would like to first ask you, perhaps there are many people who are watching this video that have not heard your story yet, and so perhaps you can take it you can take us step by step on how to start, who are Dr. Fadi and all that.
Yeah, thank you so much, dear Usama, for this an interview, and I really appreciate your research or your study about this very interesting topic. My name is Fadi Alhalabi. By practice, I'm a neurosurgeon. I was practicing neurosurgery inside Syria before the crisis. So when I was here in Lebanon since 2013, I started to think in different way. So I really thought about my goal in my life, my strategic plan at the personal level and also at the community level. So what I did, I made a very maybe strange decision, or maybe not
A courageous
easy.
one, perhaps.
Yeah. Yeah, so I doing the medical practice or health practice to be educator. So what I did, I started initiative called M.A.P.S, multi-ed programs, and started specifically in education sector by establishing a school. And the first school, when we put the idea that's how we can prevent our generation and our community from losing education, because at that time many stories I heard and I faced many unfortunately many cases for children or for family who lose their opportunities in education. So the idea was how I can rescue my community. For this reason, I found that I need to work in education, because education is the most important sector we can work on, and the most strategic sector. For this reason, when I selected education and started to think how I can link and do the linking, let's say, or create the bridge between the education and the community change. Community change for me was important, and still till now, when we put the idea of our work and the vision of our work, when you talk about community approach or social approach, it's important to talk about value more than to talk about humanitarian work. And this is big difference between humanitarian work and community work. Humanitarian work, maybe the maximum of the humanitarian work will end around to feed some persons or to treat them or to educate them. But to work in the community approach or in the community sector, you are looking for values. How, for example, for us as M.A.P.S, we put our goal how we achieve dignity for the community. So we are talking about values. And when we also sat with our communities and our seniors staff and talking what the most important values we should work to achieve, we found dignity. Dignity, it's important because dignity, it's a value by you can achieve it by interaction and interchange between community and person themselves, because you cannot feel that I'm feeling dignity if you don't feel that as a person in front of me. So it's a kind of community interchange between the persons or the population together. For this reason, started to work in humanitarian sector to use it as entry point to the community approach. And this is important also, how we can invest in humanitarian sector and humanitarian services to make it as entry points to the community approach. So started from one school, now we are 11 schools, started from car garage for helping our community in Lebanon in health sector or medical services, and now we have 2 primary healthcare centers. The number of patients around 7 or 8,000 patients per month, starting from doing something related to the creativity, and now the last competition for robotics and artificial intelligence in Dubai, we got the first rank among all the teams in the world. So this is the idea when you are working in a humanitarian, and put that the humanitarian for me not the final destination. The humanitarian work for me, it's a tool to enter to the community, not just I want to work in humanitarian and after that, yes, that's it. Because unfortunately, and this is maybe also back to the put some different point between the community approach and the humanitarian approach. A humanitarian let the person or the community just to be survive, and this is important idea, because just you feed someone, you treat someone, you educate someone. But the community approach, you are changing now the type or the style of their lives. And this is important. You are not working to let them survive, just they have breathe in out and out. No, you are changing the style and the type of their lives. So you achieve something for them. So this is big difference between working in a humanitarian and working in community approach. And now back to my personal CV. Now I'm finishing my master degree in American University of Beirut in health management and policy. And hopefully I can also from this degree I'm getting this degree. I hope to also build a new bridge between the academic institute and the community, because also this is maybe a long discussion about the relationship between the academic institute and the community. So when we are working as entrepreneur or pioneer in the community, we're starting to think about the community in different way, and how I can invest more and more in many areas I'm working in to get the benefit to the community, like what I'm doing now, working and studying in academic institute. The idea how I can link this institute or academic institute to be more and to get more engagement from this academic institute to align to what community need and to what community want, not just put the academic institute and the donor and the INGO, UN agencies in the top, and after that ask that we have to align to what those entities ask us. We need to see, but we need to understand first of all how the community think and how they portray their needs and their interests.
Oh, great. So you have mentioned multiple very interesting points that like I would like to go through them one by one. Starting off, so M.A.P.S currently is working in different sectors, right? So as per my understanding, one sector is education, yes. One sector is healthcare, and one sector is innovation in itself.
Yeah, innovation and community service, and this is important for us. And also we are working in relief, but starting to work in relief in different also way, because relief also back to the humanitarian approach or humanitarian mindset. Relief means that I will feed someone, for example, orphan or vulnerable groups, relief program in M.A.P.S, how I can change, as the famous when said that you need to teach them how to catch fish more than just to maybe give them the fish. So it's important to empower the community. It's important to empowering the women, the girls. Not just we need just to announce the some mottos from Western and address that. We need to empower now girls, empower women, and to empower maybe the disabilities. We need to think, and this is important. One of the, when you are a pioneer in the field, you have to think about standardization. It's one of the most important issue you have to think. For example, when we think about the innovation, for example, many ideas come from the rule of you have to think out the box. All right, yeah. That when you are pioneer, you think in different way. And for example, in M.A.P.S, we think that no, I'm not in the place to think out the box. I have to break now the box, and after that create my own box and decide after that maybe I'm thinking inside this box or out of this box. Because why you give me this the box already done, and after that ask me to think out or in the box? You give me the standardization now. Why you give me this? I have to now refresh the standards, refresh the criteria. So this is important because unfortunately, when we are working in this modern world and globalization, we need to think about new standards. And because it's easy to put that the idea we have to align now with all the standards coming from the Western world, or how the modernity now asks us to be. This is not the way you are working with the community. We have to think in different way. We have to put our standards, and after that, ask the community and ask the others, maybe donors, maybe the INGO or any stakeholders. Ask that this is our standard. You have to align with our standards. Why you ask me to align with your standard and put the standard from your side? So this is important idea. Yes.
I see. It's like, again, it's very interesting. However, I would like to go a little bit a step back and ask you, what were you doing before M.A.P.S? Before having the idea, having the urge, and seeing the problem, what were you doing before M.A.P.S, and how did that help you to create M.A.P.S and get into all that?
Yeah. Before I came to Lebanon, I was a simple physician in Damascus and working in medical sector as any physician. But to be out of the crisis mentality, to be out of Syria in some time, it's important to rethink about your job, about your goal, about your aim from your life. For this reason, when I did that and rethought about all this issue, I'm thinking about the disease of my community, not the disease of the persons. And this is also a big difference. Because, for example, when we talk about the disease of the community, for example, in general, community thinking in victims mindset, that we are victims now, we are out of our country, the regime push us to be out, or violate us to be out of the country, and now here as refugees. So victim mindset, one of our disaster as a community mindset. So when you think about this mindset, you have to treat in other way. When you think about disability mindsets, that we are here, we are talking about disease, as I mentioned, from the community approach. We are disabled. I'm talking not physical disability. I'm talking about mental disability, that we are here, we cannot do anything, we are not capable to do anything, we are not able to do anything. This is disaster for us. So when we see that, and when I saw this mindset or bad mindset, I started to think how, as pioneer, as person working for the community, to change this mindset. When we think also about the waiting mindset. Waiting mindset means that the community just wait. But wait for what? Maybe resettle in Canada, in US, in Europe, or return to Syria. But what you are doing now, nothing, just we are waiting. And this is another disaster as a community disease. So you have to think, when you see this disease from but helicopter, from strategic lens, not just from the hands and from scope of the physician, you have to see another approach of disease. So then you have to and for me at that time I decided that I have to go to another track to treat my community, not from the level of the patient, but from the level of the social approach to treat these main bad mindsets. I think if we treat those three mindsets, we can achieve after that many values, like what I mentioned, dignity.
I see. I mean, you have discussed the problem, and you are so dedicated to solve that problem. And it's really interesting because, I mean, sometimes people face a problem in the markets, in the economy, in the trade, but your problem that you are dedicated to solve is in the society, and that's a much bigger and complicated problem, which is like very interesting. If I can, so like now you have been in the NGO sector for like 10 years or more, perhaps.
Yeah.
So throughout all these years, what was your most proud moment?
Yes, I think from the achievement approach, when we got the award that as refugees, when we represented the refugee around the world, more than 70 million refugees around the world, when we got the award in the first rank in robotics and artificial intelligence in Dubai in 2019. In that moment, at this moment, I feel that we reach something different, just to think about basic needs, to think about health and education and something, even if they are so important, but now we achieve something. So related to the achievement, this moment was for me so important. But related to the impact, when I see our students, their behaviors in different way, when I see them, for example, the relationship between them and their parents, the relationship between them each together. So when I see that we achieve as M.A.P.S the change of their lives, because this is at the end, this is what we're trying to look for. Because dignity, as I told you, it's not easy to catch, but dignity, you can see the impact from this community after enhancing dignity for them. So when I see the happiness of my community, when I see them self-esteem, and when I see them work for other, not just think about themselves or about selfishness or individualism, that just I have to think about myself. When I see students think in this way, I think this is the most broad important moment for me, and proud of this moment, of course.
Okay, so you are saying that you are living these proud moments every day, and I believe it's only the product of many days and years perhaps of hard work, and which is very inspiring for everyone to pursue what they think is a problem and solve it. Like if I may ask you, what are some skills that you believe that have helped you a lot along the way that perhaps others could learn from or was really helpful for yourself?
You asked me about the skills to the community or for myself?
No, for yourself, the skills that have helped you.
Yeah, I think the most important skill is how to inspire the community. Inspire the community, it's not easy because when you are working in this atmosphere or in this echo, unfortunately, giving up the most dominant feeling in this community. That after that, coming to the community and inspire them. So at the same time, you need not to sell them the vague hope. So how to inspire the community and how to create hope for them, one of the most important skills you have to get it when you work with the community. If you don't have these skills, I think it's disaster, because the most important issue you need to work with the community now, to inspire them, to activate them, to enhance and encourage them to work. For this reason, when I'm talking about, for example, a very bad situation for the community here, and after that I need to inspire them and let them think that yes, you can do something, you can work, and please think for your future, as you will be here in Lebanon forever. But at the same time, think about your work and your activity as you will be inside Syria maybe tomorrow. So this is very difficult and sensitive balance. So you have to inspire them to be, as I told you, to be activated population here, but not to forget our country or our population inside Syria. So you need to inspire them, you need to encourage them, and not sell them the vague hope. So this is, I think, one of the most important skills anyone work with the community need to get like these skills.
Okay, I see. So I would like to also ask about your motivation. If you could single out one specific moment that you have addressed among the problem, and you have seen the problem and decided to go with all these projects and maps and everything you did.
Unfortunately, the motivation for the physician is disaster. That when you see disaster, maybe motivate to get motivation to work. So when I saw that the value of our community maybe coming to be down, unfortunately, when you see that the dignity for our community not appear, this is one of the most, let's say, important trigger point. Encourage me, motivate me to work and trying to change this bad situation.
Okay. Thank you so much. One more last question. So perhaps many people are gonna see this, or some are gonna be students, some are engineers, some work in different fields. So what is your one tip, let's say, on if someone out there wants to do something good for the world, to help out, whether it's with you, with your community, your organization, or generally, what would you advise them?
Yeah, I think I advise them to think deep about the community needs, and to maybe start to think about standard, because unfortunately from our community approach to adapt with the very low standard, to giving up with this very low standard, one of the our main disaster, because after the protracted crisis, unfortunately many person that as related to the bad mindset. So we have to wait for the solution. we don't have the ability to do anything, we are victim. So in those mindset, unfortunately, let's the community giving up. So what I'm trying to say that advise the person, the students, everyone to think in a community in deep way and to change the adoption maybe mindset, because adoption mindset that's let's now accept this bad situation, maybe we can change that in the near future, or maybe after maybe a long time. But this we have now to break this idea. We have not to adapt, we have to put our new paradigm, our new standard, and not giving up to the low standard lives. So I think this is important. Think about the communities, think about the population in the low standards and high standard, and how we prevent the population and prevent the community to adapt with very low standard, and inspire them, encourage them to align with high standard of their lives.
Okay, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for all the inspiring words that you have given us all.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thank you for you, Rabi. Thank you, Osama. Allah yarda alayk.